Hey loves, Tracy Lee, Self-Love Master Coach, coming to you live from Austin, Texas. Live from Austin, Texas. I want to invite I wonder if I can invite groups. I don't think I can, which is weird because you can when you do it live on the phone, which is kind of a bummer. Anyway, if you're watching live, please say hello. If you're catching the replay, please let me know that you are here with sharing some love in the comments. So for those of you who missed yesterday's brouhaha, did you know brouhaha was really a word? I didn't know brouhaha was really a word, but now I know. For those of you who missed yesterday's brouhaha, here's what happened. Hey, Jennifer Doyle. What happened with yesterday's brouhaha was I posted on Facebook that I was tired of the face mask wars that I'm seeing going on, that people are fighting about wear a face mask, don't wear a face mask. There are people who are bragging about being in public and not wearing a face mask. And I posted that I was tired of the face mask war. And what ensued afterwards was sort of this brush fire that I completely and totally did not anticipate happening. And I did hey Jody, I did a post, say hello if you're here, ask me questions, tell me what came up for you. If you watched all of this yesterday, if you read through all of it, there are still people commenting. There were over 100 comments on this, what I thought was a very benign post yesterday. And it got really heated. And as I walked away from my computer and went for a walk and started to think about what was happening, I wondered if I should take it down or stop it, or like it had such intensity and people were saying some really incredibly ugly, unloving things. There was criticism of me personally, and it was very fascinating to watch. It was not at all what I intended, and it happened so organically. It took on a life of its own. And there have been people who posted things about this is clearly not what Tracy meant and you don't understand, and people who came to defend me, which was lovely and unnecessary, but lovely nonetheless. And one of the things that Miles said that I so appreciated was, wow, how fascinating. Like you just put that up there and people show up, and they show up as they are. And I want to talk about, for me, it was really a beautiful, beautiful example of how we're all experiencing this differently. How we are all conflicted by when people are doing things differently than we're doing them, and what that means, and who's right and who's wrong, and how I feel safe and how I don't feel safe, and all of the information that we're taking in. And for me, it's all an incredible invitation to a greater love. What does love want you to do? Moment to moment, word by word, thought by thought, action by action. What is love asking of you? And while that sounds sort of esoteric, I mean it in the most literal sense. So what I teach my clients and my students is that whatever you're struggling with is the word problem. It's just the classroom that you're in. And what's interesting is right now we're all in the same classroom. We've all really been in the same classroom, but now we really feel like we're all in the same classroom. If you're here, if you have questions, say hello in the comments, please. If you want to talk about something, this is your time as much as it's my time, and I really would like for this to be a conversation. So please chime in. And what we're really talking about here is how to stay in love, even when you disagree, even when somebody's doing something that you don't think is right, that you think maybe is even dangerous. How can you stay in love? Part of the conversation yesterday on this thread was about shame, and that there was a voice for shame. There was we have to shame people into right action, and we have to shame people into the right way of behaving. And that's the only thing that works, is shaming people, which you can imagine I'm not a big fan of, or a fan of at all. I do not think that shame is ever the best way or the loving way to motivate people. And one of the things that's so incredibly interesting about this time is where so many people are looking to the leaders, looking to authority, looking outside of ourselves for some guidance and direction. And what we're seeing is other human beings who don't know what they're doing. There has never been something like this before in this time. They don't know what's happening. Open the cities, don't open the cities, let people socialize, don't let people socialize, make people wear masks, don't make people wear masks. And it's so fascinating for me because really and truly the only authority in your life is you. You and your highest self, you and the God of your understanding, or you and the universe, whatever you want to call it. And if you're in a house with someone else like I am, it's about Miles and I figuring out what is best for us. What's the yes and what's the no for us, calmly. And sometimes we don't agree and we have to navigate, or sometimes we understand our own emotionality of it, and that our own emotionality sort of pulls us in one direction or the other, right? So just this morning, I have a dog that needs to go to the groomer. She's part poodle and she gets matted and she needs to go to the groomer. I am not a groomer. I'm good at a lot of things. Dog grooming is not on my list. And I said, how do you feel about it? What's the loving choice? It doesn't really matter what any of y'all are doing about your dog grooming needs or your personal grooming needs. It only matters what we feel and what we hear is right for us. Now, maybe Jody took her dog to the groomer, right? Maybe somebody went and got their nails done. Maybe I'm choosing not to do that. Does that make them wrong and me right? It only makes me right about me and my choices. And so what I'm asking you guys to do, and the conversation I really want to have, is when you see someone doing something, and look, I am sensitive to the people out there who have health issues. My middle son was at a job where he has to work because they're not closing, and somebody there had COVID and he got tested, and it was scary for all of us. I am not insensitive to the fact that there are those of us out there who have a very legit reason to protect themselves. We all have the right to protect ourselves. I'm not insensitive to that. What I want to do is I want to encourage us to be able to dialogue about these things without bashing each other, without condemning each other, without shaming each other, without emotionally beating the shit out of each other. That's not the loving choice. Hey, Brandon, that's not the loving choice. So what do we do when we disagree? And how can we disagree with love? We're going to disagree. There are millions and billions of us on this planet. We are going to disagree. How can we disagree with love? A lot of people are talking about respect and how disrespectful people are right now. You can't disrespect me. You can come at me with anything you want. I have so much respect for myself. What you show up with is just about you, and that's okay. I don't need you to agree with me for me to feel safe. Does that make sense? What do we do in those moments where we feel really intense? I want to be really mad at my son's boss for keeping their business open. I really want to be mad about that. I really want to be mad at them for not doing more to protect them. I really want to say that's not right and that's bad. Why? Because I feel scared, right? So let's talk for a minute, because there's a lot of dialogue out there about fear and not making fear-based choices. And I am a teacher of love. And I am a student and a teacher of A Course in Miracles. And what A Course in Miracles teaches is that every moment, what I believe is that every moment, every thought, every action is asking us to choose fear or love. We get to make a choice, right? And so what I want you guys to get is that when I choose to put on a face mask and go to wherever I go, where I don't go very often anywhere, when I choose not to take my dog to the groomer, when I choose to do whatever, it's not a fear-based choice. It's a loving choice for me And anybody who's worked with me or listened to me has heard me say over and over, the loving choice for me is the loving choice for everyone, even if it's not popular. And so is your loving choice, if it's indeed a loving choice. So my ability to discern what is best and right and good for me may come up with a different answer than your ability to discern what is good and right and true for you. And that's okay. Where we cross the line is where we start to tell each other how to do it. I cannot tell you how to do it. I cannot tell you what is best for you, right? In this world where people are talking about it's about life and death, it's always been about life and death. We're just all looking at the same thing at the same time right now. And oh my God, if yesterday showed me anything, it's how quickly we turn on each other when we feel threatened and we don't feel safe. And so, how can we differ and still love each other? What are you struggling with right now? How are you navigating your choices? And are you looking to the authorities to tell you what is safe for you? And is that really the wisest thing? And I'm not saying they don't know what they're doing. I'm just saying, just because people are going to the beach doesn't mean I'm going to go, right? When I get really quiet and really still and I listen to my truth, I feel the pull and the want to commune. I'm an extreme extrovert. I miss you people. Miles will tell you. Today I had a delivery from Flat Track Coffee, which is where Taylor Wallace used to manage before he moved to Montana. And the guy came up and I jumped off the couch and I opened the door and I talked to him through the screen 6, maybe 8 feet away. And I'm like, hey, and blah, blah, blah. And when I turned around and we talked for a little while, Miles is just grinning on the couch. And I said, what? And he said, you just love people. You love to connect. Yes, I do. And I miss it. I miss hugging my kids and I miss seeing my kids. And this coming weekend was supposed to be a graduation and a wedding. And I'm sad about that. And I feel the pull too, to want to hug you and kiss you and see you and spend time with you and curl up on a couch and drink a cup of tea with you. I feel it too. I'm over it too. I want to be with my kids. I want to be with my besties. I want all of that. And I can hold the tension of that, run it through the filter of love, and make a decision that may not be what I like. And it may not be what you like. And it may be different than the decision that you make. Are you with me? Are you following me? If my decision is different from your decision, it doesn't mean I'm wrong. It doesn't mean I'm making a fear-based decision. It just means that I'm doing what's best for me. And just like today, I decided to wear this necklace and this red dress and this jewelry, and nobody's gonna, well, somebody may, but most people aren't gonna be like, wow, I decided to wear jeans and a white t-shirt today. And why did you decide to wear that? And that's wrong. You should have done it like I do it. It's just as absurd as that example for us to presume that we know what's best for anybody else. I wonder if we could stop that. I wonder if we could stop that. I wonder if we could just pause and notice ourselves and notice our own tension and our own discomfort when other people are doing things differently than we are, and take a breath or 2 or 3 and really sit in our own discomfort and examine that. And just, there, self, there, discomfort. I see you, I won't leave you. And I'm not gonna act from that place either. I'm not gonna choose to act from a place of discomfort. I'm not gonna choose to act from a place of big emotion unless there really is a fire. Unless a bear really is chasing me through the woods. And that's never happened in 53 years. I don't think it's gonna happen now, right? I can wait until I am in a calmer moment, and you can too. It is a muscle we need to practice. When we see people, it's biological, you guys. I mean, really, this is just biology. Biologically, we're still just cave people. And over the course of centuries of human existence, we fight about things that we are different about. we go to war about things that we're different about. What if it was okay for us to be different? What if it didn't threaten anyone for us to be different? What if we could live and let live? What if that were okay? And I get that some of it is inconvenient. I get for my friends who have compromised autoimmune systems to be in a grocery store with somebody who is choosing to exercise their freedom and not wear a mask. I get it. I get it. And that is that person's choice. And it is inconvenient for you. And I understand that. And I'm wondering, can you find a way to make the loving choice for yourself and not condemn them? Look, from a really high spiritual place, the truth is they are the other you. You are the other me. And I am going to assume that you are doing the very best that you can from one moment to the next, even when you are making a decision that is different from the decision that I would make. And even if you're making a decision on Monday that on Tuesday you'll make it differently, I'm going to give you grace. How can we do that? How can we acknowledge the differences without condemning, killing, and feeling threatened? This is calling us to do that. This is calling us to, in every moment, say, wow, that is not what I would do. That's not it. I'm not making that decision. And how can I stop short of feeling like I need to kill the other person who's doing it differently for my own survival? It's just base cave people things, right? That is how we're wired. Except for now we can talk about, we can learn, and we can evolve and do it differently. We can notice, wow, when people do things differently than I am doing them, I am really freaked out. I feel threatened. Like, slow it down. Slow it way down. I feel threatened and I want to lash out. Am I threatened? Am I unsafe? Is that true? Wow, it's not true, but I really am mad at that person for making that choice. Can we just unwind it and pull the thread and see what's at the core of it? I promise what you're going to find at the core of it is this notion that you are somehow not safe, that your survival is at stake. And how can you make a thriving choice? Thank you. She's saying, great message, and I love your earrings. And I'm seeing that Megan is saying, what about science? The people exercising freedom may threaten other people's lives. I don't know how to be okay with that. You don't have to be okay with that, Megan. I'm not really okay with it either. And I understand that they are making the choice that they feel compelled to make. And I'm going to give them grace and a wide berth. When I do open up my pod, when I do say I can't stand it anymore and I need people to come over, and I'm going to start to explore how can I do that in a safe way, the people who were out there running around without a face mask on are probably not going to be the people that I invite to my backyard party. And that's not out of judgment that they are bad or wrong and I don't want to socialize with them. Some of them are people that I really, really, really like. It just means that I'm going to discern what feels like the loving choice for me. You get it? And so here's the thing, people, a universal truth. We get what we focus on. Anybody who has cycled or had cycling lessons really, really, really knows that if you focus on the hole in the road, you're going to put your front tire in the hole in the road. And so I hear you, Megan. I hear you're going to call them out. And I hear that you want to fight. And I am okay with that. I support you if that is your decision. And you're going to get more opportunities to do that because we get what we focus on in this world. And for as many people are choosing to do it differently than you would do it, there are tens of thousands more people who are doing it just like you would do it. You know, Mother Teresa said she would never go to an anti-war rally, but she would go to a peace rally anytime. This is that. How can you praise and celebrate and exalt the people who are doing it the way you feel like more of us can do it, right? It's like, how do you train a dog? You train a dog by praising them, not by beating them, right? Can we do that? Can we love what we love and love it more so that's what grows? Can that be what grows instead of hate and condemnation? It's hard. I get it. It's hard. But that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to encourage you guys to be the love you want to see in the world. And what you're seeing right now is people doing things differently than you, and you're not loving that. And that's okay. But how can you still make the loving choice, right? How can you get that when we do things differently, it doesn't mean we are doing them to harm one another, even if that is the end result? We are absolutely being called to greater love here. We totally all are. And for the people who are out there wearing face masks, not wearing face masks, going to the grocery store, not going to the grocery store, getting their nails done, not getting their nails done, at the beach, not at the beach, staying at home, completely shut in, whatever your choice is, I want you to hear me say that I'm going to trust you to make the best choice for you. The choice to keep you safe and you thriving and you happy and you in alignment, and you may make a different choice today than you made yesterday. And I'm going to allow you the grace to make that correction. You feel me? I'm going to allow you the grace to make that connection. But my earrings that you love want to come to you. The thing that I want us to know is that right now on the planet, there is so much fear. And we are all looking at the fear together. This conversation that I'm trying to have is not a popular conversation. I'm asking you to do it differently. I'm asking you to participate in creating the world that you really, really want to see and want to have out there. And trust me when I say that, love is like a vacuum cleaner that brings forth everything unlike love to be healed. And that's not a comfortable process. It's just not. If it were a comfortable process, I'd have a waiting list and people banging down my doors and hundreds of thousands of people in Self-Love Masterclass. But that's not the truth, because most people want to stay comfortable. They want to stay doing things the way they've always done them. And we can't do it like that anymore. We just can't. The world is changing. And, we're either going to change with it or we're going to go the way of the dinosaur. And that's some of what's happening right now. And so I'm just asking you, as hard as it is, to stay in love with self, to stay tending to self, even when the emotions are hard and even when it feels scary. I'm asking you to just pause and breathe and ask yourself what love would do. What does love want you to do in those moments, Megan, when you're somewhere and you see somebody without a face mask on? What does love, listen for the whisper, listen for the direction and the instruction. What does love want you to do? And maybe you'll hear love wants you to go up to them and give them a face mask and invite them to put it on. But that may be offensive to them and that may start a whole new thing. What if you just sort of bless them on their journey? I mean, I get it. I'm with you. I think that we all need to be wearing them. That's my personal choice and that's what I'm going to do. But I'm also going to do my level best not to condemn other people who are making a different choice. And believe me, it bothers me. I'm watching all kinds of posts from women I respect and admire and people I respect and admire. Yes, in truth, you just avoid them because that's a loving choice for you. And that's perfect, Megan, really and truly. They get to choose to do and be how they want to do and be, and you get to choose to avoid them and not invite them to your backyard barbecue if you have one someday, right? So there are people out there, people that I respect and admire, people who I'm very confused by their choices and their behavior, that are out there celebrating their freedom and their liberty and their choice to be able to do what they want to do the way they want to do it and not wear a mask. And I'm confused by their choices and I'm saddened by their choices. Yes, your reptilian brain wants to growl and snarl at them. Yes, yes, yes. But can we evolve beyond our reptilian brain, please? Can we acknowledge the amygdala brain that says, wow, I feel threatened by the fact that these people are doing things differently? Yes, your RV site party. I would come to your party, Megan. Right? I feel threatened by the fact that people are doing things differently. And when I feel threatened, I want to fight. That's the reptilian brain. It's true. It's a true part of all of us, right? But 99.9% of the time when you have had that feeling, that charge in your body, you haven't legit been in danger. You just think you are. And so can we pause in that moment? Can we breathe in that moment? Can we choose in that moment? And for me, the question becomes, what does love want me to do here? What is love trying to teach me here? What's the loving choice? How can I be in love even when I'm not in like, or when I'm really in dislike, right? If we can all learn to do that, we're going to have a far more joy-filled existence. Far more joy-filled existence. And that's what I want for all of us. We are being called to evolve right now. Every single one of us. Some people are choosing to learn how to be master bakers. Bake bread. Have y'all noticed that? How many people are baking bread right now? I don't have the same distractions I had before. I'm gonna bake bread. Forgive me, forgive myself first. Yes, Michael. That is right. Ho Aponopono. Ooh, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. That is how I use Ho Aponopono. When I catch myself in a moment, yeah, I saw you made malas. And on the list, when I saw, I can't even remember what it's saying. Right now, what I do when I catch myself in a moment where I know, and it happens to me, I teach love all the time, but I still catch myself in lesser moments. I'm still human. I don't not have a human experience, and I tell you guys that all the time, right? When I catch myself in the moments where I am angry, or I am condemning somebody, or I do want to tell them they're doing it wrong, or whatever, I Ho Aponopono, which is an ancient Hawaiian methodology, which is in any order you want. The order that I use is, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I do it as a four-way blessing. To self first, because if I want to love my neighbor as myself, I have to first love myself, and because that's what I'm here to teach. First to self, then to other. To that woman whose post I saw a couple of days ago that pissed me off so bad. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And then to source, to divinity, to God, to whatever you want to call it. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And then to Mother Earth, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. The truth is, people, we can't really understand what's happening right now. And we can only do the best that we can do in the moment. And the best that we can do in the moment is love. The best that we can do in this moment, in any moment, is love. How can you do your best today? And how can you forgive yourself for when you don't do your best? And how can you forgive the others who may be so misguidedly thinking they are doing their best and getting it wrong? One day it'll be you. You know, we have this whole conversation about so-and-so is an asshole. Some days I'm the asshole. Believe me. We all take turns in this. And can you give love and grace to the people that you are seeing who are doing it differently than you? And can you give yourself love and grace for what you are feeling, and for your reptilian brain, for all of it? Michael says, seeing the beloved in myself and others. Yes, you are the other me. Do you know how much of my life I have spent misguided, missing the mark, not choosing love? You know, the saying is, we teach that which we most need to learn. That's not lost on me, y'all. It's really not. And so I'm not asking you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. I will never ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. We have to be in this conversation. If you're moved by this message, please share it. If you want more of this conversation, I invite you to take my hand and choose love. Step into the Self-Love Masterclass, reach out and talk to me about how you can do more, how you can be in this school. We are all in this school. Some of us are just trying to pretend like we're not. And one of the questions that was asked to me on an interview a couple of hours ago is, what do you think that we're going to do when this is all over? And I don't think this is going to be all over and we're going to go back to life the way it was. We will forever be changed. We will forever be changed by the time of COVID. And how can you be in love during the time of COVID? How can you choose love in this moment and in the next moment and in the next moment? And when you know you're not choosing love, how can you separate yourself from the herd until you can correct yourself and get yourself back to love? Because we will all have the moments where we slip and fall. Me too. All of us. So I invite you into this conversation. I invite you into the self-love movement. I invite you into the self-love masterclass. I invite you in to whatever it is that is going to help you practice loving yourself more so that you can love your neighbor more, and that we can love each other more, and we can love the world more. And it is not a fluffy, airy-fairy, fairy floss, unicorn poop kind of thing. It's hard. It's really hard. And some days it's harder than others. And I promise you, like anything, the way we get good at anything is the way we get good at everything, which is practice, practice, practice. And like Brene Brown says, can you be courageous enough to be bad at something on your way to being good at it? Some days you're going to be the master, and some days you're going to be the grasshopper. That's the way it goes. And I love you in all those moments, and I want you to love you in all those moments, and I want you to love me in all those moments. So take a breath with me. These are hard and trying times. And the tool that we really need the most is love. So with as much love as I can give you from my big juicy heart to yours, I wish you a day and a week and a month and a year and a life filled with love. I'll see you soon.